Okay. Good evening. This is the meeting of the Villa Park Video Production Commission. I am Commissioner Wagner, and I'm going to go ahead and call the roll. Commissioner Tom King.
Present.
Commissioner Lori Lococo.
Present.
Commissioner Mahmoud Arif Ghazi.
Present.
Commissioner Wagner, I am present, and we have established that we have a quorum. Commissioner Mark Paulson has an excused absence, and our village board liaison, trustee Kevin Patrick, has indicated that he has a conflict and will not be here this evening. We also have our staff liaison, Riley Pillar, is with us this evening. So, okay. So we've established a quorum. I'm going to move on to public comments on agenda items. There is no public present, so we can move on to item 3, amendments to the agenda. Are there any amendments to the agenda? Okay. Seeing none, I'm going to move on to our consent agenda. Item 4, approval of the August 14th, 2024 meeting minutes. And do folks need a few minutes to just go over them?
I did read through them before this, but
Okay.
I don't know if everybody did.
And minutes don't have to be verbatim, they just have to express the spirit or whatever was what happened, or if there are any votes, so. I'll just give folks a few minutes to look them over. Okay, I'll entertain a motion then to approve the meeting minutes from August 14th, 2024.
I'll make that one.
Okay,
I'll second.
okay, motion by Commissioner Lococo, second by Commissioner King. Okay, any discussion? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, meeting minutes are approved. Okay, okay, we're gonna move on to our, well, we should select a chair pro tem. And at our last meeting, I asked folks to think about if they wanted to be the chair of the commission. If anyone wants to do that, we can, because we're supposed to select a chair, but we can go with a chair pro tem. A pro tempore, someone to do it temporarily.
So you're the chair.
Huh?
You are the chair.
Actually, I'm not the chair. On the website, it says I'm the chair, but I was never selected chair.
Okay.
So,
Oh,
I-
I can edit that then.
what's that?
If you're
I-
not, then I'll edit that you're not.
Yeah, I'm happy to be chair pro tempore, if that's okay with folks.
So why don't you select a permanent chair?
Pardon me?
So why don't you select a chair?
Well, just to be frank, I'm chair of one commission, and I don't think I should be chair of a second commission.
Same boat.
Yeah. So, I mean, if someone doesn't want to step up, we can just continue to select a chair pro tempore. So, I committed to take minutes, and I'm happy to post the agenda, but I don't think it's appropriate for me to, be chair of two commissions. I think someone else should do it. So,
I don't think I have the time.
Okay.
Commitment to do it between my kids' activities and my job.
gotcha, understand. Okay,
I'm still learning, so.
Okay, well, I'm happy to be chair pro tempore for this meeting. And maybe Mark will reconsider next one, so. I'll entertain a motion to nominate someone for chair pro tempore.
I motion that we nominate Robert Wagner for Chair Pro Tem.
Okay,
I'll second that.
okay. Okay, any other nominations? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, okay. All right, we're gonna move on to item 5A. And we discussed this a little bit at our last meeting, at our August meeting. And that's the recommendation to change Article 30, Section 2-3003, to change the commission membership from 7 to 5. And a little background, this commission has gone through people coming, people leaving, and then not being able to achieve a quorum, and then things are at a standstill. And the last time we had a full commission, we were urged to change it from 5 to 7. And this is the second time that hasn't worked out. So I think we should change it back to 5, we should make the recommendation to ask the village board to change the commission membership from 7 to 5, because that enables us to have a quorum with 3 commissioners. And to me, that makes sense. I mean, the last time the argument was, well, we're gonna have more commissioners. Well, it just didn't happen. And then the second time, we lost a key person, and then we were, in limbo.
I think it's a good idea because, like you said, I mean, we need to have a quorum and folks are absent for various reasons, either personal or work commitments. And in order to progress, we definitely need to have meetings. So, and if there is interest to have more than 5 members on this commission, we can always go back to the board and request a larger commission.
Right, exactly. We could change it back. And recently, the village board made it possible for, I think, all commissions to have junior commissioners. And for the very first time, the Environmental Concerns Commission will have a junior commissioner. So maybe we might get some junior commissioners. You never know.
Quick question.
Yes.
Since I'm still learning a lot too about, government in general, what is the requirement for a quorum? Like, what's the difference for a requirement in a quorum if you have 7 people versus 5?
Well, if you have a commission of 7, it states in the ordinance that you have to have 4 constitutes a quorum.
Okay, so
So
4
it's-
of the
yeah,
7
so it's-
people have
yeah.
to be able to attend
Yeah.
the meeting.
My understanding is you have to have greater than 50%.
Right, exactly,
Okay.
right.
Gotcha.
And with 5 commissioners, we only need, if the commission has 5 commissioners, we can hold a meeting with 3 commissioners present.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
Yeah,
And right now, if one of us couldn't be here,
right, yeah, So, we're kind of into discussion, so I'll entertain a motion to make a recommendation to the village board to change section 2-3003 from 7 commissioners to 5. Okay,
I will make the motion to
Okay.
recommend.
Commissioner Lococo has made the motion to make the recommendation to go from 7 to 5 commissioners. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded
Do
by,
I second?
Barbie?
Second.
Oh, he'll second.
Second, okay. And I apologize, you want to go by,
Arif. that
Arif,
was-
okay.
Arif.
so Commissioner Arif has seconded the motion, okay? Is there any further discussion?
I just have a question.
Sure.
Does the board need to approve a spot for a junior commissioner if that's something that you guys were interested in?
Yeah, they've already approved it.
Oh, okay.
They've already approved it for, my understanding is
For
for all the
every-
commissions. So all we need is someone to apply,
Okay.
It would be the same process. They'd have to apply. The village president would have to say, okay, offer it to the village board for their advice and consent. And then if they were approved, they would become part of the commission.
Okay. I know like Willowbrook just started like some new like video highlight reel stuff that they started doing. So there might
Oh.
be some interest from Willowbrook students. You know, I'm sure they just have no idea that that's a possibility. So that's something, you know, that I could, you know, either post about or reach out to. I know the communication specialist for District 88. So
Yeah,
I
that
can
would be
look
great.
into that if you want. Yeah.
And then also the government classes at Willowbrook that would be of interest.
Yeah.
What's the criteria for a junior commissioner? Like for an adult commission,
Um,
for an adult
I
commissioner?
don't remember, they have to have 1 year residence.
And do they have to go to a Villa Park school? Do
They have to be, they have to be a Villa Park resident. They have to live within the town 1 year. I'd have to double check it.
and then is there a minimum age?
Yeah,
Okay. And then maximum age, I assume, is 18, and then they can become
yeah.
a full commissioner after 18. And
I think our junior commissioner is 18,
okay,
yeah.
Yeah, because I was going to make a post soon about junior commissioners in general, so if, you know, I could list this commission specifically, like this X, Y, and Z commissions are all looking for junior commissioners, so that's something I can include, if that's open for this one too. Because I think there is another commission or two that has an opening for junior commissioners too.
Right, yeah, I know that Community Focus and Unified Neighbors has at least one,
Okay.
yeah.
are they full voting members of the commission?
No, they can't vote.
So they're
That's
just-
the way the ordinance states, they cannot vote, so.
so they're
I didn't write the ordinance, but they can participate, and I'm kind of getting far afield here, but the advantage to them is they get experience, and they can put it on their resume, you know, when they apply to a college, you know, it's a good thing for them to do, so,
There's a lot of students interested in video, so I bet there could be
Yeah.
some traction on that.
okay, is there any further discussion? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor of making a recommendation to the village board to change section 2-3003, commission membership from 7 to 5, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, all right, that passed. Okay, so we're gonna move on to the policies and procedures. And this document that you have before you, this was basically a revision of something that Al Stash had put together. So there's some changes in it, and, I did notice some things that I think need to be corrected, some typos. So what we can do is, we can just go through it paragraph by paragraph, if that's okay. Some of it's pretty straightforward. So purpose, section -2-3002. It shall be the intent and purpose of the Video Production Commission to work with the village manager's office, to work with the village managers,
To work with the village manager to oversee production.
yeah, there's some typos in here.
Yeah.
And I apologize, I'm waiting for my daughter to arrive, because I'm monitoring my phone here, because I locked my keys in my car. So that, to work with the village manager's office to oversee, or work with the village manager to oversee production, delivery, and scheduling of local public educational and government programming to cable television channels, including Comcast / Xfinity, Channel 6, and AT&T UVerse Channel 99. So with the exception of that typo, Is everyone okay with that initial paragraph?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. The Video Production Commission, the commission, will also oversee the production and delivery of programming to streaming video services on the internet, including a dedicated streaming channel of public, education, and government, parentheses, PEG, programs. Any changes to that paragraph?
No.
No changes? Okay. The commission will coordinate with third-party production services contracted by the village and village staff for the live broadcast of government programming, including but not limited to Board of Trustee meetings and Villa Park Planning and Zoning Commission meetings. Any changes to that paragraph? So I will note that now, besides the village board meetings and planning and zoning commission meetings, I know that Park and Rec Advisory Commission is live streamed. Traffic and safety. And I think when there's a full assembly of the liquor commissioners, I think those are recorded. But I'm not sure we need to mention that.
Well, do you think that this paragraph is necessary? So is the current commission is coordinating with the third-party services to record these things?
I'm sorry, say it one more time.
So I'm just wondering whether this paragraph is necessary because is the video production commission is coordinating the actual recording with the,
I mean, we're not, to be honest with you, we're not really coordinating it.
We're not doing anything having.
We're
to
not
do
doing
with
anything with that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if anything, that's what I've been doing.
Right.
So, I mean, that could be rephrased if you wanna rephrase it to.
I mean, we could strike that whole
staff
paragraph.
add-on or something, yeah.
I mean, do we really want to take that on? I mean, we'll coordinate it. We don't have the training. We don't have the people power to do it. I think we should just strike that whole thing.
Is that the goal though, to get the training to be able to do that, to have more content on the
no,
channel?
I don't think so. I don't think the commission
Yeah, I
is
mean-
gonna have time and.
Because somebody else is already recording it, we don't
Right.
choose when they record it, where they record it, how they, so.
So I do have a question. This is, I apologize for digressing a little bit. So I noticed that, for example, of course, the village board meetings, the committee of the whole, that gets put on the YouTube channel right away.
Mhm.
Park and Rec Advisory Commission met recently, and that was put on YouTube right away. And of course, live streamed. But Traffic and Safety met over a week ago, and that's never appeared on the YouTube channel. So I don't know. Sometimes it takes a long time. I assume that maybe there's some editing that takes place, but I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't been looped into that.
So,
I
yeah,
don't
that
know
meeting
if it's
took.
usually, is it like usually the chairperson that does that, or does it Cheryl do that, do you know? Yeah, I'm not sure.
No,
I've just uploaded and posted them when people have asked me to, but otherwise I don't know
Yeah, so the-
from who.
so Traffic and Safety met on September 1st. And I just looked today and it hadn't been uploaded to YouTube.
Okay, yeah, well, it should have been, I can try and look into that since maybe someone forgot to send it. You said that was traffic and safety?
Traffic and Safety, yeah, the September 1st meeting.
So what does that paragraph say again that we may not need?
The commission will coordinate with third-party production services contracted by the village and village staff for the live broadcast of government programming, including but not limited to, and then Board of Trustee meetings, Villa Park Planning and Zoning Commission meetings.
Oh, for the live ones, gotcha. Yeah, it doesn't
Yeah, I mean-
sound like we need it, but I
Yeah.
obviously defer to you guys.
I'd be in favor of striking that. I don't think we're capable of,
I move that we strike it.
yeah. Okay,
Do we have to formally move for every change in here, or can we
that's a
just,
good question.
can we just adjust it and then approve the changes as stated?
Right, so maybe let's reach a consensus to say, is there a consensus to strike that? Rather than taking a vote on every single, like,
Yes,
we'd have a really long
yes.
bunch of minutes, so is there a consensus then to strike that third paragraph?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, all right, we're gonna strike that paragraph then. The commission will operate under a set of guidelines approved by the Board of Trustees that specifies how content will be evaluated for broadcast. Day-to-day operation of the village cable and video streaming services will be the responsibility of the village manager or his/her designee. But the Video Production Commission members that have been trained to use the Castus scheduling software or its successor software technology and internet sites may be employed as volunteers to perform the same services. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
And Castus is, I think it kind of explains it, it's scheduling software for programming.
Yeah, I think when you mention about the guidelines approved by the Board of Trustees, you have to also mention kind of like a precedent. The precedent approved by the President and Board of Trustees. I would just like to add the word precedent before the Board of Trustees.
Well, the president is part of the board.
Yeah.
Board of Trustees.
Yeah.
Board of Trustees,
right,
and there's
right.
a president, and the president has the full voting power in the Board of Trustees.
I don't think many people realize this, but the village president does have the power to veto things, but I've never seen that happen. I'm okay with this wording,
Yes.
if everybody else is. And I think saying Board of Trustees kind of includes the,
Include,
yeah,
But it is a good suggestion. You're paying attention.
yeah. This policy setting forth rules of procedure shall apply to the Video Production Commission of the Village of Villa Park, which is part of the village municipal government and subject to all laws, rules, and regulations that govern the village. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Okay. Organization. As per section 2-3004 of the village code, the commission shall include a chair elected every 2 years. The commission may elect a secretary, the commission may elect a secretary that shall record minutes. Make that little typo there. The commission may elect a vice chair, but it shall name a presiding officer for any meeting when the chair is absent. If the elected chair resigns from the commission or is removed from the commission members shall elect a new chair at the beginning of the next official meeting of the commission, and the newly elected chair shall serve out the remaining term of the previous chair. I'm okay with that, I mean. Any other, okay. 2, the chair shall preserve order in the meeting and shall regulate its proceedings by applying these rules and making determinations about all questions of order or procedure. Meetings shall generally follow Robert's Rules of Order. That's pretty standard.
Yes.
Okay. No single member of the commission shall have authority to represent or act on behalf of the commission unless, by majority vote, the commission has delegated such authority for a specific matter at a duly noticed meeting, and such delegation is recorded in the meeting minutes. I'm okay with that. Motions made by members of the commission require a second. The chair of the commission may make motions, that's a little bit different, and may vote on all questions before the commission. A motion will only pass if it receives the votes of a majority of the total membership present at the commission. I think that's pretty standard.
I question if that's needed because it says meetings shall generally follow Robert's Rules of Order.
I'm sorry, say again?
So number 2 says meetings shall follow Robert's Rules of Order, is number 4 even needed?
It's just describing Robert's
You're
Rules
right.
of Order.
That's a very good point. It's kind of superfluous. I mean, you're right. Motions made by a commission require a second. That's in Robert's Rules of Order. I should say, normally the chair doesn't vote.
Usually.
Yeah, usually the chair doesn't vote. Just, I think, when there's as a tiebreaker. And then the motion will only pass if it receives the majority of it receives the votes of a majority of the total membership present of the commission. That's pretty self-evident.
Yeah, so in the event of a tie, it's a failure of the.
Yeah. I mean, we could strike it, we could leave it in. I don't really.
I'll just leave it in, I guess.
What's that?
Leave it in, I guess. What do you
You
guys
probably
Okay.
combine 3 and 4.
Well, 3 kind of deals with a specific issue. Sometimes commissioners have people who express a view and they preface it by saying, I'm a member of this commission. So we want to kind of make it prevent, we want to, so that and I don't think anybody here will do that, but we want to make sure that someone doesn't say this kind of presents themselves as having a view that's not the view of the commission. So I think we should keep it separate. That's my,
Yeah, I mean, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 are all Robert's Rules of Order to me. But we can just.
yeah, there's no limit to any member of the commission requests a roll call vote, meaning these rules may be amended by 2/3 vote of the commission and may be readopted annually. There's a typo there. If any conflict arises between the rules of the commission and the village code or policies of the board of trustees, the code, and then the policy of the trustees prevails.
So are we leaving everything as is? All
What's
the way
that?
to that point? Are we leaving everything as is? Other than the if?
I would just, insert an if there. I think once you adopt something, it says may be readopted annually.
Yeah, you don't have to redo them unless there's a change needed.
Yeah,
Is there not a policy on renewing this, like, every other year, or, you know what I mean?
so every once in a while, I mean, for example, the community focused on unifying neighbors, they reviewed their ordinance and they redid it, but it hadn't been a long time. Just the fact that it says may be readopted annually, I would just strike that. That's just a weird phrasing. And may be readopted annually.
Yeah.
You could add something like if changes are needed.
What's that?
You could add something like if changes are needed.
Yeah,
So that
maybe.
it's not, or some other wording that sounds better, but,
So you want to add, and may be readopted annually if needed?
or like,
I would just strike it. It doesn't provide any value with the word may.
Yeah,
The
may.
word may,
Yeah, I agree with Tom. I think we should strike it.
the whole paragraph or the whole sentence?
after and.
After and may be readopted annually.
Okay.
Yeah, just the fact that it says the rules may be amended by 2/3 vote of the commission. That's really all you need to know.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Anytime or?
yeah, anytime. So I'm gonna strike that. And then we have a typo there. Okay, meetings, I'm gonna move on to meetings. All policies in this section are governed by section 2-3004 of the Village Code. Regular meetings shall take place on the second Wednesday of each month at 6:30 PM at Village Hall, second floor production studio. All meetings and notices of meetings shall adhere to the Illinois Open Meetings Act. What are your feelings about 6 o'clock? So we were just discussing this before you got here. What's the feeling about a 6 o'clock start or a 6:30 start?
I have no opinion.
Okay.
Well, we've been having our meetings at 6, right?
Yeah, I'd almost, because I left the Chamber of Commerce event, so I could see an argument for a 6:30 meeting. Is that okay with everybody?
Yep.
Is that okay, Kid? Okay. And that might help Mark a little bit too.
Well, he has funky hours.
What's that?
He has off hours, it's not like.
Right. Okay, so we're gonna leave it at 6:30 then. Special meetings shall be publicly announced at least 48 hours in advance by giving notice to all members of the commission and advertise in addition notices. That's pretty standard, that's Open Meetings Act. I mean, we could leave it in there.
Yeah.
Emergency meetings may be held without public announcement, without posting notices, and without 24-hour notice to members.
Also in the Open Meetings Act.
That's not, huh? For
This is also-
emergency meetings? Okay, I'll take your word for it.
What constitutes an emergency?
Right,
A
what
cable
constitutes an emergency meeting?
Let's say, well, for instance, I don't know what would constitute an emergency meeting for us, but.
Yeah, when would we
let's-
ever have an emergency?
Let's say, for instance, a water main broke and they needed funding from somewhere immediately, then they would call an emergency meeting for the village board.
Oh, yeah, there we go, okay. But for our purposes, for the Video Production Commission, when would we have an emergency meeting? I mean,
I cannot think of a situation where we
You
would.
wanted coverage of something
Could
going
we-
on.
Do we have to vote to spend money? Could there be something that it's like, we need to spend the money now, we have to have a
Right.
meeting now to vote on it? I know
Or-
that's,
I mean, any time, okay, so our commission is made up of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 folks, right? So anytime we have 4 commissioners together, that has to be publicly announced, because it's a quorum, right? So let's say we needed to broadcast something like a Shakespearean play, and we just found out about it the day before, and we needed 4 members of the commission to be there. That would have to be publicly announced, and we could consider that an emergency meeting, right?
Yeah.
Because we have a quorum. That would be the only time I think we would have, you know, I think it's wise to have the flexibility of an emergency
To
meeting,
have
but
it in case.
yeah.
okay,
But it is defined in the Open Meetings Act. I can pull
is it?
it up.
Okay, my bad.
Yeah.
Well, I'm okay with leaving it in there if that's, okay. And I'll take your word. I mean, I did the training, but I kind of breezed through it, so
It's not in training, it's in the actual,
it's in the actual state statute?
yes.
Okay. Okay, well, we'll leave it in then. All business shall be conducted in the same order as it appears on the noticed agenda, except that any addition or deletion from the noticed agenda must be made as the first act of business at the meeting. So when we have amendments to the agenda. No additions to or deletions from the agenda shall be considered once the first act of business at the meeting has commenced. Any other adjustment to the noticed agenda, for example, changing the order of business, postponing or tabling actions, may be made by the majority vote of the commission. That's pretty,
So this is the statute. Except in the event of a bona fide emergency, 48 hours notice shall be given of a meeting to be held in pursuant of this section. Notice shall be given to all the members of the public body. So, yeah.
okay. All right, I'm okay with that paragraph 4 in the meetings. Number 5, remote attendance at commission meetings must follow state laws and regulations. If allowed under state law, the use of remote participation is discouraged in cases where the additional member is needed to reach a quorum and the member who is participating remotely is ill and could transmit illness to others, or if they are out of the driving range. So it's my understanding, because I had this situation recently, you cannot count someone who's participating remotely as a quorum. That's my understanding of the Open Meetings Act. You cannot. So it says, if allowed under state law, the use of remote participation is discouraged except in cases where the additional member is needed to reach a quorum. Well, I'm pretty certain someone participating remotely does not, if they're accepted, they can vote, but they're not considered to be part of a quorum. So I have a question about that. I think
The statute doesn't say anything about remote attendance. What did I
I
saw?
think right now, probably they are more lenient to allow it.
what's that?
I think right now they're allowing it like the Zoom meeting, like if someone
Oh.
wants to join via Zoom.
Yeah. I'm a member of a board, and our attorney told us, remote attendance cannot be counted as towards a quorum.
But can the remote attendee vote?
The remote attendee can vote, but it cannot be considered a part of the quorum. So you have to have a quorum present. The quorum then accepts says, okay, we're gonna accept your remote attendance, and then, they're kind of admitted into the meeting. But our attorney said they cannot be counted towards a quorum. So I think we need a clarification from the village on this.
Right.
I remember a village board meeting where one of the trustees did attend remotely, and they did, like you said, they had to, at the beginning of the meeting, the president asked the board of trustees if this
Right.
person could attend remotely, and they voted on it.
I'm just gonna highlight this and then have the village attorney make a ruling on that. Okay, I'm gonna move on to item 6. All meetings of the commission are meetings, all meetings of the commission, I'm gonna strike our meetings, are open to the public. Members of the public shall be afforded reasonable opportunity to express opinions about matters considered by the commission, so long as order is maintained according to these rules. At the beginning of each agenda, but before any action is taken by the public commission, at the beginning of each agenda item, but before any action is taken by the
Read all the way through.
public commission at each meeting, there may be 3 minutes afforded per person for open public comment. So the wording here is a little bit awkward.
So all it's saying is that before we get to the heart of our meeting, that we're supposed to have public
Right,
comments.
public comment. But it says at the beginning of each agenda item, but before any action is taken
Yeah,
by,
that doesn't make sense because,
You could just strike the whole sentence, but before any action is taken by the public commission at each meeting. I think that line is unnecessary. Or maybe it is because to emphasize that before you start anything, the public are allowed to make comments.
yeah,
if
I
we
think,
strike at the beginning of each agenda item, and put before any action is taken, blah, blah, blah.
But we have public comment on agenda items, and we have public comment on non-agenda items. I think this is saying we want to have public comment before each item?
Which isn't how it works, as far as I know.
No, it's public agenda, at the beginning of the meeting, there's public comment on agenda items.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the meeting, there's public comment on non-agenda items,
Correct.
but not before, in other words, would we allow public comment before 5A, 5B, 5C, and 5D?
No.
No. So I think we could just say, we could eliminate that second sentence and just say, with the exception that says 3 minutes will be afforded, or 3 minutes will be afforded each person for public comment?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm gonna strike that second sentence. 3 minutes will for open public comment, okay.
I've run into situations where the public, remember the public exceeds the 3 minutes, and if they want to exceed the 3 minutes, do we want to have the chair provide more time if needed, or something like
Yeah,
that?
I think we're generally informal. I think if we get people coming, if they want to speak a little bit longer, I think that's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Item 7, Board of Trustee liaisons and members of the village staff assigned to the commission shall be considered ex officio members of the commission and afforded the same rights to speak as commission members, but shall not vote. I'd like to strike that completely. I'm just joking. That's perfectly fine.
Yes.
Meeting minutes shall be taken and preserved by the village clerk or her designee if required by the Board of Trustees. Meeting shall be recorded in the manner prescribed by the board. I think that's perfectly fine. Video production and content. The powers and duties of the commissioner are set forth in section 2-3008 of the village code. To prepare and recommend to the corporate authorities procedures for planning, execution, and implementation of the intents and purposes of the commission. To receive training to operate television and video cameras and associated equipment, and to keep a schedule of programming for cable television channels. The commission will also upload video to internet streaming services to provide public education and government programming to citizens not subscribing to cable TV providers. I mean, would we really be uploading? Who does the uploading of video? I mean, staff does, who uploads, like, what's that?
For the channel,
Right,
Suncom. I
Suncom
believe.
does, yeah.
And I know we'll get to this, but like when I met with Glenn, like he was telling me, you know, we can send him things for them to upload for us.
I don't know, I'd like to strike that. What's, that,
That will upload.
the commission will also upload video to internet streaming services to provide public education, and government programming to citizens not subscribing to cable TV providers.
Yeah, I'd like to know what streaming services does that mean?
Yeah,
Well, a while ago, we had talked about having a streaming service, that we had different streaming channels of different content, but that wasn't executed, so that may be what was in there.
yeah. I don't know, I
Internet streaming services, because Al used to use Vimeo instead of YouTube for a lot of things.
Oh.
So I think that's what the intent was.
I think, yeah, the number two, probably strike the whole thing.
well, to receive training to operate we want to keep that in there.
But the second sentence.
The second sentence.
The second, yeah.
I don't know, do we need training to operate television? Or maybe video cameras?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really what they're talking about, is the cameras and the
Cameras, yeah.
system.
The equipment.
So if there's a consensus, I'm gonna strike that. The commission will also upload video to internet streaming services to provide public education and government programming to citizens not subscribing to cable TV providers. I mean,
You could edit it to say our YouTube channel, since we have our YouTube channel already, and we have a video cable production like playlist, like where the meetings are uploaded, so we could upload things to YouTube if people wanted to watch clips of things on YouTube versus on the TV, to make things more accessible.
so, yeah.
I think it's
So I don't know,
probably not-
do we want to be responsible for uploading that? I mean, the commission? I mean,
No.
No, I don't think so.
So if we want to upload it, I think that was what Al was
Yeah.
trying to do here. It's our discretion,
Probably
I guess.
comment or, right. I remember the village manager was saying that whatever the content that we make needs to go through the village managers, right? Or
Yeah,
the
so-
liaison, right, yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, so like I would upload it to YouTube.
Right.
I've never uploaded anything to YouTube, but I understand it takes a long time. No?
Not really.
No?
Depends how big the file is.
Yeah,
It can take a while, but if it's like a couple minutes, it's easy.
yeah, like the 36-minute video of the 9/11 ceremony today. That was a huge file and that didn't take long at all. I didn't put it on YouTube yet, but when I uploaded to see how long it would take to, even social media, it didn't take long at all. But yeah, perhaps that could just be rephrased for, sending content to the staff liaison or something for me to upload to YouTube versus streaming services or something, since we do have our village YouTube page. Since we do want our content to be more accessible, since, we don't know how many people are going to watch the cable channel at a given time.
Yeah, we could, just as you're saying, we could say, if needed, and with coordination with the public information officer, the commission may. How does that sound?
Yeah, and you could even put staff liaison or communication
Okay,
specialist.
right.
That's not I'm not public information officer.
Oh, you're not public, but your email says PIO.
Yeah, we should probably change that. But my actual title is communication specialist. And my other email is our pillar in Ville Park. They just have
Oh,
PIO
okay.
direct to my email.
So with coordination of staff liaison,
Yeah, staff liaison or village manager office, whatever makes more sense. Or staff and board liaison, I don't know if it needs to be both or just me, probably just me, but. yeah.
and the commission may upload, I don't know. Yeah, I don't wanna mandate us to have to upload stuff to,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah, that can be me.
all right. Okay. I'm gonna move on to 3, to develop guidelines for the production and broadcast and dissemination of third-party material for the purpose of providing appropriate public education and government information. I'm okay with that. To produce educational informational material in support of village activities and programs to enhance transparency of village operations under the direction of the village manager or his/her designee. 5, to make other such recommendations to the village board, I'm gonna make that capital, which the commission considers necessary to implement the spirit and intent of this article. Everybody okay with that? Okay. Planning and implementation, video content. The
And then if
commission,
you, just, sorry to
Yeah.
interrupt you, I need to leave right now, so it's already 1 hour, I have another appointment.
gotcha, okay.
So can we continue this in the next meeting, or you guys wanna continue?
We can, so we're gonna lose our quorum.
Right. So we'll have to.
So we can, let's make a motion then to set this aside for our
Next meeting?
for our October meeting? Okay,
Well, how about I make a recommendation that we read ahead, make any changes
Good
on our
idea.
own, and then bring the changes here, and we can all compile them, and it should streamline the process.
But
Great.
we
That's a
still
very
need
good
to
suggestion, too.
bookmark where we stopped.
yeah,
Yep.
So that
so
we
we
don't-
stopped,
Video content.
yeah, we were just about to get into video content. That's where we stopped. Okay, so we're gonna set this aside or table this. So I'll entertain a motion to table this until, our October meeting. Okay. So motion
Motion.
by Commissioner King. Okay, is there a second?
I second.
Seconded by Commissioner Reeve. Discussion, seeing none, all those in favor,
Aye.
Aye.
any opposed? Okay. Okay, if it's okay with you, I'm just gonna move it really quickly. Can you you said you were gonna have a conversation with Glenn.
I did, yeah, so really quickly, so they are going to do an inventory of the room currently and anything that's like outdated or needs to be updated or anything. Basically, they're gonna kind of make a pile of like, this is what we're keeping, this is what we kind of need to update. They're gonna do an inventory for us, sometime before the November meeting. November and December is when they can start some training, that's when they have, their next like availability to be able to do that. He should be able to come to the November meeting. I will double check, but, you know, he's also available on weekends or something, but, you know, I said we'll probably try and keep it, you know, for when we're already meeting, but,
Okay.
yeah, so really start with the basics, just really how to operate the camera, or even how to shoot something on a phone, but like in cinematic mode, like, you know, versus just taking a regular video with your phone, for how to actually take a quality video on a phone. But really want to do training on how to operate like the camera that's in there, you know,
Gotcha.
for events or something. So just really basic training with that first. So that's the most I have on that. And he was wondering if there's any budget left from this year and what the 2025 budget will be.
So we have not spent anything this year.
Okay.
So we have a $2,500 budget. And Al did do an inventory before he left. So I just need to locate that.
Okay, yeah, if you can send that to me, but I
Sure.
know they're gonna come in, anyway, just cause there's stuff everywhere, and they said there's something they need to look at with something going on with the live broadcasting, so they were already looking into something, so.
Okay. And yeah, I know mentioned in our last meeting, we did purchase two new lavalier mics.
Yeah,
So I've got that inventory somewhere. I'll find it.
awesome.
Yeah.
And then he will also send, likely to Matt and myself, but I'll double check for what's currently on the channel and what we can take down. Stuff that's really old or something. So
Okay.
he'll send us some stuff to review for what we can remove. If there's things really outdated.
Okay. Really quickly, since we're pressed for time here, I'm just gonna resubmit the budget with what we had for last year, because,
If in the next year we don't do it
Right,
again, we can always
exactly.
change it lower next year.
yeah.
Yeah, because then we might be able to use some of the 2024 budget before the end of the year, depending
Right,
on what they find
exactly,
to replace some
exactly.
things, and then go into the next one.
To
Okay.
spend any of the budget, do we need a vote, or how does that work?
Really, so the budget's $2,500. It's a request. And, the manager's office, the board could cut it, could increase it. So if someone wants to make a motion to submit the same amount that we were budgeted for last year,
You just mean for buying something, yeah, I think he just means for like, if we wanna use some of the 2024 budget to buy a new camera, what do we need to do to say, hey, we're
What's the
gonna buy
process?
this?
we need to approve spending before the end of the year. 'Cause
So
it's
that's-
use it or lose it,
Yeah, that's a reason to have an emergency meeting. Let's say the camera broke
right?
and we have something to film the next day. Then we would call an emergency meeting and get the approval through.
Okay, so since the manager needs it by the 21st, I'm just gonna submit the same budget.
Yes. Does our budget for 2024 expire, or does it roll into 2025?
No,
I don't know.
no, it's
Use
use
it or
it or
lose
lose
it,
it. Yeah, and we're now in the village is now in the calendar year budget.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, so we do have until the end of the year still.
right,
So
And
we
they'll
should-
be done with that inventory hopefully by November. So if we need to get anything with this budget.
Yeah. Do you have any suggestion? What do we need? Or probably after they do the inventory?
Yeah, probably after they do the inventory, and they'll probably come with recommendations too, and, they'll let us know if anything needs to be replaced, and,
Yeah.
we can ask if they have any suggestions too for anything new.
Right.
okay, I think we can dispense with the other things unless others have commissioner comments. I will just mention really quickly that College of DuPage does have a TV and video production classes.
I think Glenn used to teach them.
What's that?
I think Glenn used to teach some of
Really?
them or something too.
Okay.
He mentioned something, yeah, about that, the
Okay.
college, yeah.
Okay. In that case, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay. You made the motion?
I'll make the motion, yes.
Okay, is there a second?
Yes.
Second by Lucoco. Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay. All right, we're adjourned.